What's up, everybody, and welcome to my final video in the Duskmourn set review. And this one is a special one because we're just going to cover the lands. We're going to take a look at the basic lands, take a look at the art, share our opinions, and then we're going to go take a look at some of the dual lands, the special lands that we see out here, and talk about those because there is a slightly different mechanic with some of those. And see our thoughts. So this will be a little bit of a shorter video, but if you caught my other videos, this is the last in the series. So we covered white, we covered blue, we covered black, we covered green, and we covered red. We covered multicolor, we covered colorless, and we shared our opinions on whether or not the cards are good in limited, in constructed, or in commander, and talked about classic 80s movies, horror movies along the way. So we'll do a little bit more of that here in the land review, but it's just going to be a short one. We're going to appreciate the art more than anything and then talk about a new mechanic. So if you like Magic the Gathering content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps the algorithm. It's free, and that's what I'm doing. I'm making Magic content. We're doing things like set reviews. We're doing Bronze to Mythic runs in Arena. We're doing vlogs about our tournament runs at regional championship qualifiers, trying to qualify for Pro Tour, all in what I'm calling my path to pro. So if you want to see that kind of stuff, follow along in my journey. But without further ado, let's go take a look at what we came to take a look at today, which is the lands of the Duskmourn set. We're going to start with the tried and true, right? We're going to talk about the basic lands, and mostly we're just going to talk about the art. So this is cool little, like, what's that called? Like nursery, like creepy nursery with eyeballs in the flowers, and we got hands holding various lights. So overall, kind of creepy. I don't know. They have some alternate arts. We could take a look at the alternate arts. Actually, we'll just hover over. We have some alternate arts. Like this one is actually a pretty cool art. I like the dynamic range of that. That's the art we're taking a look at. Here's another classic art. This is more of like a forest with doors. And then we get into the Boom Burrow. So this full art is actually kind of cool. I always like to take a look at the art and see, like, hey, is this something I want to own 20 of for my collection? So far, the only one that's won in my heart is the Kamigawa arts. But I'm always open. Let's take a look at the island. So the default one looks like we're in like an aquarium cave thing, like we're underwater, that we have the water above us. We got the other standard art. This is more like a waterfall dream behind the waterfall. We got a desk and a table. But then here is that other cool art. So that's all in this style. I really do like this style. This might be a winner for me to grab a set of 20. The Kamigawa lands are obviously really expensive, but like if I got a set of these, I wouldn't be upset about it. Like I like the whole contrast, black with the blue and then the black with the green. Next up is mountains. We got the cool furnace, scary furnace, like Freddy Krueger furnace thing going on. This one is more like a gate to hell. That would be how I would describe that one. And then look at this. I like this one. So this is, again, sort of like, I don't know. This is like a hellish dimension with like a butcher table. And we got like two survivors there. Overall, pretty creepy. It's almost like the thing in the background is like torn open the world. Is that a common thing? Is that in all of these? Yeah, we got the crazy like multi-eye thing, and look, and it's the arms have torn open the world. It's torn open and we got that one here too. Yeah, we got the arms like ripping in. Okay, so there's some like overarching being looking into all of these. So next up, we got the plains. This is going to be a pretty, well, I think it fits into the horror tropes, right? This is like an abandoned mansion sort of thing going. We got the drapes over the piano, so maybe a light of hope coming in. This is like after all the scary shits happen and daybreak is occurring. This one, a little bit interesting, more of like a dreamscape with tapestries, and you're in like a cotton field with chairs and wardrobe closets. And then we're over here again. We got the creepy arm dude just like like ripping into it. And then they've gone still with sort of like a mansion with wardrobes covered in sheets. So again, really kind of interesting art. And then lastly, in the basic lands, we're going to have the, what is this? Sort of like a bridge underground, like you're in a sewer type thing, but it's a creepy sewer. Like you got these legs. These look like spider legs, and then there's like creatures under the water. You can see the eyes of the creatures under the water. And then even this door has got like spider legs coming out of the door. So yep, that's sufficiently creepy. And then over here, we got the infinite spiral staircases with spider webs. But then finally, let's take a look here. Same thing. We got the creepy arms like coming down into the room. And we're more in like a staircase spiral thing going on. Kind of, we got some spider webs and some creepiness going on in there. So sufficiently creepy art. I do like the full arts on these. I don't know if it beats my preference for the Kamigawa, but I do like the contrast in them. So let's go take a look, though, at some of the dual lands. And so I didn't have a good way to sort these. I really tried to cut out the basic lands. So we're going to have to skip over some of the basic lands. And we're going to bounce around just a little bit. But we're, with the very first card, introduced to this newer approach to lands. And this is a white-blue card. An abandoned campground enters tapped unless a player has 13 or less life. So either you or your opponent have 13 or less life, and then it will come in untapped. And we're going to see that in a bunch of color combinations. We see that here in the red-green. Then let's take a look at the picture. So this one, we got like a field with tents, and then like random windows have shown up. And then here we got a forest with like random doors and windows. So relatively same theme, just different colors. We're going to see this same mechanic here with a white-green or green-white. Again, we see doors and windows over. This one looks like a cornfield with, what are those called? Corn designs. I forget what they're called. What are they called? Can't remember. But yeah, aliens do it, right? We're going to skip over the basic lands. Go over here to Lake Shack. This is your green-blue. Same thing, 13 or less. And this one is a nice little, like, I don't know, it's like a hut that's in a pond that's in an aquarium. Sufficiently creepy. Skip over basic lands. Go here to Murky Sewer. This is our blue-black, 13 or less life again. And we have sufficiently creepy sewers. Again, we got windows with arms coming through. Like, yeah, it's pretty creepy. Then we have our white-black dual land, and this is a neglected mansion. So these windows and doors are a big theme here in these lands, which is really interesting. And then we obviously have like the haunted manor. Next up is the peculiar lighthouse. This is our blue-red, 13 or less life card. Again, we're seeing the windows. With staircases, so we got an interesting mix of like water and molten lava occurring here. Not super creepy, but it is sort of like a lighthouse thing going on. I think it's actually more like interesting than creepy. Skip over our basic land. Now we're going into the Raucous Carnival. This is another really interesting one. You know, the carnival theme. Tracks that seem to go nowhere, your circus tents, sufficiently creepy. It's fitting the theme really well. And then we got our black-red, 13 or less card. I don't know what's going on here, but we got the windows. And we got some paths. We look like we're in some sort of satanic place. Next up is Golgari. We got our black and green. And it's a cemetery with the windows. We see the windows again. They're hanging out in the back. So the windows are definitely the theme. Now we get a little bit different one. Here is Terramorphic Expanse. This is Sacrifice Terramorphic Expanse. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So this is good mana grooming. So if you need to grab a third card, if you have a splash, or you're going to grab this in limited, maybe especially if you're splashing a third color, I would probably put it in there if you manage to grab it. Are you going to put it in a constructed or commander deck? Yeah, probably. It could find a place, especially if you have a multi-color approach to your land. You need to go find a specific land to round out your curve. This can help you get there. Here's a little bit different one, Blaze Mire Verge. So it can add black for nothing and add red, and then activate only if you control a swamp or a mountain. So it does require you to have a swamp or a mountain to be able to tap it for red. But this one is like, we got this like satanic mouth open thing going on, but then the roof is the creepy thing. It's a bunch of like baby doll heads and spider webs, and I'm not about that life. Then we got a similar thing going on with Flood Farm Verge. Add white for nothing, and then you can add blue, activate only if you own a plains or an island. We're going to see a few of those. This one is like a fever dream. That's like a field with a waterfall coming down onto it. And then we got like farmhouses in the back. Interesting. Gloom Lake Verge, same thing. You get blue for free, and then you get black if you have an island or a swamp. This one reminds me of like Stranger Things type, like alternate universe type thing going on. You got like a floor overhead, but then the floor that you're walking on, I don't know. That's creepy. It's like ice, like you're in like an ice cavern, but hellish. It's like a hellish life or ice cavern. Hushwood Verge, again, green for free, white if you have a forest or plains. And then we're obviously just in a creepy jungle. Why is eyeballs? Why is there eyeballs? There's eyeballs in the plants, and there's a big old eyeball right here. And then weird sack pod things. I'm out. I'm not going into that nursery. Go to our second page, Thornspire Verge. Here is our red for free and green if we have a mountain or forest. And this just looks like hell broke out of the middle of a field somewhere. It's like a volcano. And this looks like it was like a farmhouse or something. A lot of farm themes. And then finally, we have Volgavoth's Lair. It's hexproof. And Volgavoth's Lair enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color. And then tap, add 1 mana of the chosen color. So prevents from land destruction, which is really nice. And it can be any color. You can already see like some people looking at the cost of it already. Oh, this is the alternate art. Oh, there's an alternate art. It looks like it's in a TV. That's actually pretty cool. And that's already has a heightened price to it. I don't know if those are the static prices or people like already want those, but I do like the art for that. But having a hexproof land that can be any color that you want, like, are you going to draft that? Probably not. Maybe if you're really trying to splash a third color, this might help you get there. Or smooth out your mana curve a little bit. But so if you see it, you might grab it in limited. Are we going to see it in constructed and commander? Most likely. Yeah, for sure. We'll see it there. A hexproof land, not a bad place to be. Awesome. Well, we said this one would be much shorter than the other videos that we did, which were nearly an hour long. And being my first set review, I did not understand what I was getting into. So if you're catching this as my first video in the series, you're catching me 8 hours later, voice is fried, going through the set. But I wanted to take a look at the art, talk about some of the new mechanics, the 13 or less life. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Like, is that something you think is going to have advantage? I see it maybe in modern where like basically everybody starts at 13 life anyways because of all the sack lands and everything that's going on. Like it might work there. But are we going to see it in standard? I don't know. What about some of the other ones like Volgavoth's Lair? I think that's really interesting. A hexproof land helps with land destruction. I think we'll see it in some of the older formats for sure, to help prevent that land destruction and keep the land that you want. Only downside is it's not against things like Blood Moon, because all lands just become moon or become red, for instance. So that would still affect that card. But it would help with the land destruction that we see from time to time with like Field of Ruin. So let me know your thoughts on the new lands. Did you like the art? Are you going to be picking up a set of 20 of these? Are these going to be your primary land pieces in your decks going forward? And overall, if you like Magic the Gathering content and you want to see a guy start from the bottom and try to make it into the pro series, follow along. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Find me on all of my socials on halfpump.com. And as we close out everything, until next time, we'll catch you at the table.